The lightning shows my weakness, the thunder knows my secrets. The storm is like a brother, it knows me like no other. So let it rumble, let it roll, 'cause it's all I know. You can keep your calm and easy, but that peaceful life ain't for me. The harshest gales call out from the tree, like it can sense the reckless in me. And when the clouds roll in, it's like I'm home again. Don't need your safe and sound, let the rain come down. Let the rain come down. Let the rain come down. I see the waters rising with waves as strong as iron. My soul was born for running. The darkness is my compass, and I will follow where it goes, 'cause it's all I know. You can keep your sunshine story, but that peaceful life ain't for me. The harshest gales call out from the trees, like it can sense the reckless in me. And when the clouds roll in, it's like I'm home again. Don't need your safe and sound, let the rain come down. Let the rain come down. Let the rain come down. Sirens ring and run for shelter. I will chase that storm forever. The harshest gales call out from the trees, like they can sense the reckless in me. And when the clouds roll in, feels like I'm home again. Don't need your safe and sound, let the rain come down. Let the rain come down. So let the rain come down. Let the rain come down.
And today we've got some very important stuff to cover. See, Amanda Panda, are you here? I want to bring you up on stage. Okay, first off, I'm going to do the fair use disclaimer, because today I'm using government information. Yeah, so it's all in learning purposes, all for learning purposes, okay? Okay. Hey, okay, I'm gonna bring you wanna come up on stage? There we go. I'm going to, there she is. Hey there. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you? How is everybody?
Can't complain. Having yard sale tomorrow. I'm not going to be back till Monday. because I'm having yard sale Thursday, Friday, and Saturday until 4. And I won't have time to do research and get here. So, and plus I'll be hot and sweaty every day. I'm having it down at my storage locker. Okay. So first off, what I found, I went to the links that you found, and then I went to other links. And this says, this is from the arkansashouse.org. It's about the 2025 education legislation. In the 2025, Arkansas House of Representatives passed a series of impactful laws to impact education statewide, prioritizing students, teachers, and school communities. We began Act 909, which boosts per pupil funding by 5%. Okay, we don't need all that stuff. It's breakfast for children regardless of income, creating focused learning environments. Act 122, Bell to Bell, No Cell Act, limits student use for personal device during school hours, reducing distractions. Act 474 places a temporary hold on school letter grade evaluations, allowing time to roll out a new accountability system aligned with the LEARNS Act. I don't know what that is.
That's what I'm wondering. Was this incorporated with the LEARNS Act?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Because
it says rolls out a new accountability system aligned with the LEARNS Act.
I will never vote again. I will never vote again. Regardless. Because nobody has time to sit here and read every little tiny bit of this. And as far as I understood, because I did read quite a bit of the LEARNS Act. And it had quite a bit in there about basically treating the children equally, like if they wanted to go to a charter school or a private school, like you can't deny children if they have the ability to go.
Right.
So they made that open enrollment, and that type of thing. And then the reduced lunch or free breakfasts and that type of thing. Now, somehow along the lines, this was rolled into this, and I do not remember this being in here at all, because I bet your bottom dollar I would not have voted.
Right. Act 573 requires the display of the 10 Commandments in public school buildings. I like that. Oh, I do like that.
I'm on the border about that. I'm on the fence about that part of it, but and then that's only because you should not mix church and school and church and state and blah blah blah. You get into other issues that may come arise. But my issue as far as that goes is, if it is mandatory for us to put up the 10 Commandments, what's next? They can't deny them to put up the first books of the Quran. They can't deny them to put up, I hate to say it, but there is a new Satanist church, and they can't deny them. I mean, what's fair is fair, and that's also why I voted. So I'm like, I
think part of that, like I think it rolls into 478, which mandates the instruction on the moral and religious beliefs of the founding fathers, which means what your religion is, the church has to accept. I mean, the school has to accept. Like Jewish people have different holidays than non-Jewish people, and I forget what they are. There's one that don't celebrate Christmas or anything, Jehovah's
Jehovah's Witnesses.
They don't celebrate Christmas or anything, and the churches have to recognize that, or
Cool.
schools, I mean, have to recognize that. I think that's what that means.
In a sense, but again, they're using one thing to bring in another, and that's where I'm on the fence about it. Like, they're bringing in, oh, we're going to be teaching this because this is how our country was built. This is what our founding fathers' thoughts and views were on this. So this is what we're going to be teaching, but it's still bringing that in, and there's going to be a lot of people, just like with what you're about to go into, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to have backlash because, believe it or not, America was built because of freedom of religion.
Right. And if we actually went back all the way to our founding fathers, the people that came over on the Mayflower, we would all be Catholic.
Which also leads into Hinduism, Buddhism, Catholicism, all of it. It all needs to be taught just as fairly.
Right, right. But just hanging the 10 Commandments isn't forcing it upon anybody, because you don't have to read them if you don't want to. But it kind of brings peace into the, in my opinion, it kind of, okay. The Religious Rights at Public School Acts 2025 provides clarity on the freedom effort to students and staff regarding religious expression. So they have freedom of expression through the religion. I like that part. Teacher support was also addressed. 878 increases the classroom supply tax deduction for teachers, $500 to $1,000 literacy efforts. I need to go get that. And boost with Act 195, tripling the maximum literacy tutoring grant from $500 to $1,500 in funding, if funding allows. Act 229 requires all public schools to provide this is the one we don't like. 229 requires all public schools to provide age-appropriate firearm safety instructions starting in the 2025-2026 school year. The Teacher and Student Protection Act 565 introduces stronger protections against repeated violent or abusive behavior in school. Additionally, Eli's Law, Act 908, mandates the installation of audio recording devices in locker rooms by 2027-2028 to enhance student safety. These laws reflect a clear vision for strengthening our schools, supporting education, and preparing Arkansas students for successful future. Wow. So they're going to make it mandatory but did that have you heard? I haven't found, because they're still debating whether it should be middle school or high school. And CJ said that last year, because he has I don't remember what the class is called, but it's kind of a exterior arts type thing, and where they teach archery and weaponry and frisbee golf and all kinds of these sporting things, fishing and everything. And he said he learned firearm safety in his school, but they never got to actually hold the weapon, or the teacher was just talking about the weapon and with pictures showing different parts of the weapon and things like that. And they talked about the safety that way. But Kansas is different than Arkansas. So, but I do have this one from Arkansas State Legislature, bill number HB 117, Act number 229, House notification that HB 117 is now Act 229. So this is what happened. You voted on the notification of HB 117, and they changed it and rewrote that to be Act 229. That's what I'm reading. Now, I could be wrong.
Well, even in what you just read, that doesn't even elaborate into what they want to get into.
All right, so then on the next page, we're going to go to,
because what I read is they are actually going to be doing hands-on.
okay, so HB 117, they've got it, HI 220. Okay, that's their dates, okay. So it's a bill by Representative Scott Richardson, Andrew Duffield, and Perry Rye, with Senator Jay Bryant, for an act to be entitled. An act is required the Division of Elementary and Secondary Education and the Kansas State Game and Fish Commissions to determine the earliest grade in which it is appropriate for students to receive instruction on firearm safety, to require a public school district in an open enrollment public charter school, the normal high school is not public chartered, is it?
No, but that's where it began. Is that when I read this bill, it was more geared towards the open enrollment of public charter schools. That was the main topic. Like,
Okay, it says to require a public school district and an open enrollment public charter school to annually provide students with instruction on firearm safety and for other purposes. Okay, the subtitle says concerning the administration of instruction on firearm safety in public schools, districts, and open enrollment public charter schools, be it enacted by the General Assembly of the State of Arkansas, Section 1, Arkansas Code Title 6, Chapter 16, Subchapter 1, is amended to add an additional section to read as follows. 616-163, instruction on firearm safety required. A, it is the intent of the General Assembly to 1, protect Arkansas children from the accidental discharge of firearms by providing age-appropriate firearm education instructions, and 2, to empower Arkansas State Game and Fish Commission to work with the Division of Elementary and Secondary Students to create and approve age-appropriate firearm safety courses. The division, in consultation with the commission, shall determine the earliest grade in which it is appropriate for student enrollment in public school districts and open enrollment public charter schools to begin receiving instruction on firearm safety. In order to make the determination required under subdivision A1 of the section, the division and the commission shall study relevant data and risk factors, including without limitation to earliest age at which incidents of injury involving firearms reported and children are susceptible to harm from unsecured firearms that are able to gain access to. Okay, now the Jonesboro shooting, I'm sure you remember that one, Amanda, because you were there. You were in Jonesboro, but you were there in Northeast Arkansas. It was 2 fifth graders that did that. So are they?
Go ahead.
Are they going to say that 5th grade is a acceptable grade to start teaching firearm safety?
That's where my concern with all of this is. Like, it's not the fact of the firearm safety. I understand wanting to teach firearm safety, but it looks like they're it not looks like it sounds to me like they're going to be going into depth. And my issue stands with, if the child is not going into the school with a pew pew, it's because they either don't have access to or they don't know how to use it.
Right.
So now we're going to eliminate one of those factors by teaching them how to use it. And if I wanted my child to partake in firearm safety, I think that's something that I should enroll them in. I should be a part of. And that be my decision, not something mandatory where we're having our major issue with children and firearms in the school.
I know my dad used to teach hunter safety education and firearm safety education, and he taught it on Saturdays. And if it was his weekend, because Mom worked every other weekend and Dad had us kids every other weekend. If it was Dad's weekend, as early as me being 9 years old, I remember sitting through hunter safety. I think I went through hunter safety course about 15 times.
We grew up different.
We did.
And we were the kids that got our shirt tail cut because we shot the deer in the wrong spot. It's not a matter of that. I think, Tom, Dick, and Harry are all three different peoples in three different circumstances, and
right,
it's nurturing. It's nurture versus nature. And when we're in our city schools, which we are in now, and we are having to accommodate to that type of lifestyle where the children are not actually introduced to that as often. It's a different type of environment. Now those kids that go hunting, they know their fire safety, that they're less. I don't know. I don't know if maybe in my mind I think of it as they have an outlet and they learn to respect the art of using the weapon, the shotgun, the whatever it is that they're using. It's a different type of respect that they have for what they're using versus, I'm mad at the world and I'm going to take this thing that I know can take a life because I've used it to take a life, talking about deer, and now putting it into a different situation.
Right. Right. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Children are susceptible to harm and unsecured firearms that are also able to gain access to them. Beginning with the 2025-2026 school year, each public school district and open enrollment public charter school shall annually provide students with age appropriate and grade appropriate instruction on firearms. Okay, so that doesn't sound to me like they're going to teach fourth graders how to use the firearm. Sounds to me like they're going to teach them about the safety of it and then progress, like with your algebra, your math. You have math, algebra 1, algebra 2. So they're going to do a mild safety and then get more and more progressive until they become high schoolers.
And that's what I thought. Okay, so when I was in school, which granted it's been a little while, but when I was in school, they did that. I remember that type of gun safety. that I have no problem with. It's when we're getting into the older kids that have the mental instability, that are being bullied, that have the gumption, but don't have the know-how. And now we're giving them the know-how.
Right. Okay. I agree with that. You make valid points. That's why I wanted you up on stage, because I knew you had, we discussed this yesterday, and I knew you had valid points. The curriculum or program of instruction used to educate students on firearm safety under subsection B of this section shall be approved by the division, being in the earliest appropriate grade as determined by the division and the commission under subsection A of this section, and continue in each subsequent grade through grade 12, including instructions on the following without limitations: the steps to take if a student finds an unsecured firearm, including without limitations the importance of avoiding injury if the student finds an unsecured firearm, which you said happened in the Oklahoma school system, right?
Correct. And this is what we did learn. Like you learned, do not touch it. Do not put your finger on that trigger. You never know if it's loaded. Actually, go get an adult. Try not to touch it at all. But yes, this was a situation where, I believe it was in Oklahoma, where one of the teachers accidentally left their firearm on the back of a toilet, and the children brought it to the principal.
Never touching a firearm if the student finds an unsecured firearm, and immediately notifying an adult of the location of the unsecured firearm. That might be, Arkansas may have heard about your situation in Oklahoma. That might be part of why Arkansas decided to implement this, because the students found the teacher's unsecured weapon.
Well, I have no problem with this. I really thought that this was something that was implemented and that's been going on since I was in school. If they stopped doing this, yeah, shame on them.
CJ said he was taught the safety and the importance.
But what they're about to go into, where we have to sign permission slips and stuff, that's where I have a problem.
The school safety related to firearms and the proper handling and safety storage of firearms, and include neutral viewpoints on all included topics, including without limitation to prevention of accidental firearm injury. The division shall not approve a curriculum or program of instruction used to educate students on firearm safety in the curriculum program of instruction, or any of the instructional materials used as part of the curriculum or program of instruction bear and brand or stated organizational affiliation. Now that's written all screwed up. It's like they're going to have to teach this, but they're not supposed to teach it this way. However, curricula, programs of instruction, or any of the instructional materials used as part of the curricula are programs of instruction used to educate students on firearm safety, and may bear a brand issued by the state of Arkansas or any of the departments, agencies, or divisions. The division shall use the following preferred methods of instruction in determining the curriculum or program of instruction used to educate students in firearm safety: the viewing of a video provided by the commission or commission's approved sources, the review of online resources and materials, and an alternate curriculum which may include off-campus commission-approved firearm safety course. So that's like the hunter's education course. An off-campus commission-approved firearm safety course may be provided in conjunction with a live fire exercise or sporting event. That's what you were talking about, right?
I mean, I guess at this point I may be eating my words, but because I just realized I did rifle team, but those were with little,
Wasn't that when were in JROTC?
yeah, rifle team. That's what I was about to say. Is I may be eating my words, but those were little lead pellets. Um, and I was in a military class. So they knew the signs to look for if one of us was looking like we had ulterior motives.
Right,
So I guess I'm not going to eat my words on that one because again, I was in a military class. So
right.
they our instructors were from the military. Now, I don't know. My concern is just that one sad kid that got bullied enough that this is all that it took is him to have the know-how, and
Right.
now we're all out standing in a group learning this out in the field, and you just handed him one, and all his hated people are in this class because he knew that they would be.
I understand. That makes a lot of sense. If an off-campus commission-approved firearm safety course is provided in conjunction with a live fire exercise or sporting event, the provider of the off-campus commission-approved firearm safety course and the public school district or open enrollment public charter school in which the participating student is enrolled shall obtain prior written approval from participating student's parents, legal guardian, or person standing in loco parent to the participating student. As used in this section, firearm means the same as defined in 51102. Okay.
And again, that's where, okay, so we have our teachers and we have our teachers griping all the time, and I don't care who you say. I mean, teachers are teachers. It is what it is. But you have your teachers. They literally put little pictures out last year that said "tag you're it" to the parents because when it was summertime, like they feel like they're babysitters. They feel like they're underpaid, which they are underpaid. Don't get me wrong. But they feel like they're getting taken advantage of in that aspect. And then we're going to go in and say, all right, we're going to give you control over one more little aspect of our life. Like, in my mind, if I want my child to have gun safety, that should be something that I should put them through. And not in a setting where I don't know the outcome or the emotions of everybody else around my child.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
And with that being said, this that also brings up the subject of all the people that are anti. I by no means am anti
Right.
firearm. Like, I'm not anti firearm. Protection is required in this day and age. But there are a lot of people that are anti, and they just made this mandatory. That's going to cause a shoot storm that they were not expecting.
Well, one good thing is they cannot make it mandatory that students purchase their own device for field training because some of the students' parents can't be around that. So there's no way they can't make them be required to purchase this item. They have to provide the item and return the item after the class.
Yes. Yes, I mean that is a good part. Like, I do agree. but there's a lot of it that I don't agree with. There's way too many gray areas, and if I could thunk it, it's probably already being thought of how to do it.
Okay. This is what AmmoLand, shooting sporting events news, Arkansas schools to require gun safety courses for every child in 2025. The video.
And a new law in Arkansas aims to educate students about firearms safety. But what exactly will that education look like? Jose Carranza spoke with lawmakers and the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission to find out.
Firearm safety will be taught in schools with the signing of Act 229 into law. House Representative Scott Richardson was the lead sponsor of the bill. He explains the idea came about when he considered the diversity of his community in Bentonville, Rogers, and Cave Springs.
Oftentimes they come from a variety of backgrounds that may or may not have had opportunities to be exposed to firearms in the home.
It was the topic of a conversation Richardson had.
Okay. He just said the same thing you said, only he used it in different context. You used it in the context of the child may want to do this but doesn't know how or doesn't have access. And he used it in the context of the child needs to know because they don't have access. You know what I'm saying? That he tried to make it positive, and you made it more positive because of your concerns. Does that make sense?
Sounds like manipulation to me.
With his neighbors last summer.
All of our children play together and invade whatever home happens to be the play of the day. And in that process, they may go into a neighbor's home and discover that unsecured firearm. And how would they react?
The Arkansas Game and Fish Commission and the Department of Education.
No.
What?
I thought that specifically was what we were teaching them already.
Right. Well, my friend Henry that lives in Hutchinson, she has custody of a little girl and a little boy, their half brother and half sister. And their younger brother that was like 8 years old, 6 years old, something like that, found an unsecured firearm in their home and managed to let it loose, and it hit the younger brother who was, because I think there's one that's 8, 7, and 6. I think that's how it is. The 7-year-old got the 6-year-old in the head, and the 6-year-old was expected to unalive, but somehow his brain corrected itself or something, and he is doing fine.
That's great.
The 3 older children have been taken away from the mother. My friend Henry has the 2 oldest. One of them is with another uncle in Arkansas, and she got custody of the youngest one back. The one that got.
And that's what I meant by this type of gun. This type of firearm safety is it. I thought that is what we were doing. Like the don't touch it. I thought we were doing that type of stuff. I'm more concerned with the upgrade of it now.
Right. Okay. Let's see what else they have to say.
Will develop the safety instruction. Game and Fish has experience teaching firearm safety through its recreational shooting division, placing experts at firing ranges statewide. But spokesperson Trey Reed says their most significant involvement in firearm safety is through hunter education.
We've had hunter education in Arkansas for 45 years probably now. It has been mandatory. It's mandatory for anybody born after 1968. You have to have it in order to get a hunting license.
Reed believes the requirements in the act will make the instruction simpler than the 10-hour hunter education course.
This is going to be really basic. I mean, basically a firearm safety version of stop, drop, and roll.
Richardson emphasized the focus is on safety, not firearm use. Instruction will begin in the 2025-26 school year. Covering news where you live, Jose Carranza, 5 News.
Okay. So
But back that up just for 2 seconds. Because
I can't. I already clicked it off.
he just fibbed.
Yeah, they didn't mention nothing about infield.
No, he said it's going to focus on the firearm safety and not on firearm usage.
Right. But the bill actually says usage.
Yes.
Okay. This one is really interesting to me. Show it to you. It's entitled, Arkansas Parents React to New Law Require Gun Safety Education in School. Okay, and this is from KARK out of Little Rock, Channel 4. It's been banned. You can't see the video. This video cannot load because the server is not on network.
Oh. Huh.
Parents like Donnie Kennedy say they feel like this could be good for the state school system, and others, like Matthew Henson, say it will only create more problems. See, and that's where you sit. Some kids won't be around weapons. They won't know nothing about them, Kennedy said. If they learn it at school, they'll have it for future reference. The firearm safety aims to protect Arkansas children from accidental discharge of firearms by providing age-appropriate safety and education. But despite lawmakers' attempt to crack down on firearm safety, Hansen believes the new law could only make things worse. Having kids more comfortable with firearms could possibly lead to more school bang-bangs, and he believes, Hansen said. And I agree with that. He said, the amendment may bolster Arkansas legislation restructuring electrical utilities. He says he feels that firearm safety is a topic for parents to discuss with their children. That's what you said. I think you should keep firearms out of schools completely, Hansen said. That includes teaching kids about firearms in school.
I'm glad there are other people out there that feel somewhat the same way that I do.
The law is set to go into effect during the second half of the 25 school year, something Kennedy is looking forward to. Kids are going to learn and know how to use weapons. They're going to know what it is, Kennedy said. I think it's good for them. The new law is going to affect Arkansas from 95th General Assembly. The bill does not state if parents are allowed to opt out of the safety course, but their permission will be needed for live demonstrations off campus.
From what I read, they are not allowed to opt out.
So I thought that was very interesting that the news media couldn't even play their video.
Yeah, I'm glad there are other people out there with the same opinion, but it's like, I mean, okay, so now not fully the same. Now I believe that the teachers and the security, they should have their firearms due to the previous situations. Like somebody should be able to take control of a situation.
Don't they only have tasers, or do they have like nines?
I believe that they have actual firearms, and I believe that most of them have gone to the rubber
Okay.
trajectories. But I do believe that they are actual firearms.
Okay. Well, then I asked Microsoft, will
Because
firearms, huh?
Because I think technically you're not allowed to tase a minor unless, like, there's, like, of course, that type of situation. But because of medical...
Oh, you can cause seizures.
That type of situation. I'm not sure.
Okay. Then I asked Microsoft, Will firearm safety be a mandatory course in all U.S. public schools? No. There will be no nationwide mandate. Currently, there is no nationwide mandate for firearm safety to be mandatory course in all U.S. public schools. However, several states have introduced or passed laws requiring firearm safety education in schools. For example, Utah has made gun safety lessons mandatory for students, while Michigan has mandated the development of a model firearm safety instruction program for students in grades 6 through 12. Kansas aims to standardize firearm safety education in public school districts, and Arkansas requires public and open enrollment public charter schools to provide age-appropriate firearm safety instruction beginning during 2025 school year. The legislation efforts are part of a broader trend to restore and reaffirm America's traditional values in education, emphasizing the importance of firearm safety education for the next generation of Arkansans.
So we trying to create the next.
You guys are trying to be the next George Washington of firearms.
I was thinking militia.
Okay.
Hey, Cinderella.
Hi, Cinderella. Welcome in. What is your opinion on firearm safety being taught in public schools?
Now, it's not just the firearm safety. It's the extra step that we have gone here and having them have actual hands-on in the
Right.
field.
In the field.
Yeah, in the field. I was looking for that word.
Okay, so then I went to Fox 25. Oklahoma. And Oklahoma school implements statewide cell phone ban because they're talking about a lot of states have already adapted this bell-to-bell cell phone ban. And okay, so listen to this video.
I could be. Hang on before you go a little bit further. 1 second. I could be completely ignorant on this whole situation and uneducated and not know how they're going to go about this because, I mean, by all means, they have 3D printers nowadays. Like, maybe everything's going to be done like that.
Oh, that's a possibility. I didn't think of that.
But I think that's a part of me trying to
rationalize it.
Yes, because I don't think that that's. But secondly, I don't think that there is going to be a possibility of them even bringing this to the table until the kids are at least in high school. Reason being, they're not going to be able to handle the firearm. You tell me what 7-year-old. Well, I mean, I hear stories all the time, but your average 7-year-old that doesn't really know what they're doing, I have a feeling they're not going to be able to easily pull that slide back.
Right, and not to mention what the recoil is going to do. It's going to knock them so far back across the room.
Correct, without causing injury to themselves.
Which in turn, if they're holding the firearm, can cause damage to themselves because if that firearm jars, it can also shoot.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different things where it's like, I feel like we were slighted a little bit because we didn't get the full ins and outs of this, and this kind of got snuck in there, and I've learned my lesson. Voting is a very fickle thing.
All right. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to switch from, okay, they're talking about it's mandatory to have firearms classes in school. But it's also going to be mandatory that you can't have your cell phone in school. Now, I'm not saying I agree with not having cell phones in class, but between classes or before school, because some kids ride the school bus. Hi, Reality. We have been missing you. Welcome in.
Welcome back, Reality.
So, okay, when I was in high school, smoking Molly Collie, we need to ban orange taco truck. No, I'm sorry. Let's not go into politics, okay? We're kind of stretching it talking about the rules for schools, but yeah, I don't want to talk. I will never. I'm sorry. I'm neither Democrat nor Republican. I am independent, but I will never downgrade our current president. I will never. I may not agree with everything he does, but I'm not going to try to get rid of him because I agree with a lot of things that he's doing. So anyway, I like that idea. No cell phone usage, only for emergency or usage of it before and after school. Right. Amanda Panda was concerned that the kids can't bring their cell phones past the metal detectors. But hi, H. Davis. What we got a full house tonight. Good job. Okay, so, but what I'm understanding, when I went to high school and the bus dropped us off, now I don't know if Amanda's kids ride the school bus or not, but when the bus dropped us off, we had 30, 45 minutes. We could walk the halls with our friends. And there's plenty of times in that 30 to 45 minutes, if your child has that much time, to use their cell phone and take pictures with their friends and do a Snapchat thing or whatever before the first bell rings. Then at first bell, they can put their phone in their locker on off or silent or whatever. I would suggest off because if it's silent and they get a message, it's going to vibrate in their locker and it's going to echo and it's going to be loud in the locker area. But they can before and after school, in the school, take these kind of pictures. And I don't think that goes for extracurricular activities like the school play or the cheerleading teams or the football teams or whatever. I think the students will still be able to use their cell phone during that time.
Well, mind you, mine, she's in, as you say, extracurricular. It's not actually extracurricular because this is her senior year.
Right.
She's going into her second year of KTC, which is last year she got her CNA license by going half of the school day to school, and then the other half she went to college campus and she did classes on college campus. Now this year it's going to be the same, only a little bit different, and she's going to only have 3 hours in her school building with her grade. And only a select few, I think five people from her class are in KTC. So the rest of her class is still at school, and like she feels like she's going to miss out on so much and not be able to take pictures or be able to participate because of the fact that she's doing better for herself, but she's only getting 3 hours, and now they're being told absolutely no.
But if they're walking the halls before school, then they can use their cameras as long as they put them away where they can't be seen or heard or contact. Now, are they going to make kids take their Apple Watches off? Are they going to make kids take their Garmin watches off? Are they going to make them?
I don't believe that those are allowed in school anyways. You'll get dress coded for them because they have calculators and stuff on them.
Right. Now, see, in CJ's school here in Arkansas or here in Kansas, they're allowed to use their cell phones in math class only for the cell phone usage. But if you think about it, their Chromebooks have the calculator on them, don't they?
Yes. So they have their Chromebooks. I have a feeling that this isn't going to go over so easily, and especially since the fact that it's only mandatory. Like, they only made it a law for 1 year. Like, they have to try this for 1 year.
You feel phones should be allowed in schools for right? They will allow them for emergency purposes. Yes, they have already stated that they can be used in an emergency. Like if a child has medical issues and starts going to have a seizure and needs to get a hold of their parents, they can use their phone at that time to contact their parent and say, I'm going in seizure. Or they might have a special code that they can send a special text to their parent or something that's a pre-programmed into their phone that's like an emergency text. But yeah, they will be able to use them for emergency. And if they don't let them kids have phones on their person, I can see a problem with this, because now not using them, I'm saying, because some of CJ's classes, their teachers have these shoe holder thingies, and every student has to put their cell phone in it with the cell phone turned off when they walk into class. They can't have their phone in class. Okay? So, but if the other class that is going to be made mandatory causes the issue that we've had in several schools throughout the United States.
Exactly.
The students need to be able to get that phone quickly to be able to let their parents know that they are safe.
They went away with the cell phones being put in the little shoe thing on the back of the door here because of shaming.
Oh, because students that didn't have phones?
Yes.
That stinks.
Yeah, that I do know.
That stinks.
And then they went to using a box, and one of the teachers, from what I understand, didn't actually lock her desk. She thought she locked her desk, and one of the cell phones came up missing. And because it was in the teacher's possession at the time, she was responsible for it. She wound up having to pay for the kid's cell phone. Yeah, there was a lot of things. So the kids, if they had their phone, they were required to keep them either in their locker or on their person where they knew where it was at. Like, they weren't even allowed to let so-and-so take their phone and use it for a little while.
Right. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's see what Fox News in Oklahoma has to say about
Is
it.
in full swing, and like every year, there's something new for the incoming class. A big item is the new cell phone ban across all Oklahoma schools. I took a look at how our state's two biggest districts are dialing up the rules. Well, it doesn't matter if you're playing Candy Crush or doom scrolling on Instagram. A cell phone can be a distraction for anyone at any age, even me.
Wayne, are you almost done?
Yeah, almost.
Whoops.
Well, as you can see, phones can be a problem. And if you're trying to learn, it's just not going to happen.
I think this is really, really important, and probably the most important thing we can do for education this year.
That's why the state implemented the bell-to-bell no cell policy.
The law that was passed this last spring by our state legislature requires that every school in Oklahoma have a policy in place that prohibits the use of cell phones during the school day.
Now, Childers tells me the goal isn't to restrict communication between families, but he did give me a breakdown of what is prohibited.
Prohibits the use of not just cell phones, but personal electronic devices. So that would include smartwatches, smartphones, tablets, AirPods, things like that that can connect to the internet or connect to a smartphone.
Tulsa Public Schools also making changes to their cell phone policy ahead of the new school year.
High school students last year had a little bit of a different policy where cell phones were available at certain times, certain non-instruction times during the day. So starting this school year, that'll feel a little bit different for our high school students.
So with all these changes, what do the actual students think?
I think eventually students are really adaptable, and it might be a little bit hard the first couple weeks, but I think slowly throughout the school year, people will get used to it.
Amasha kept it real with me, saying the ban is kind of a bummer, but she says that there are some benefits.
I think that the point of that is to make more physical face-to-face connections. So I hope that students take the time to, spark real conversations, make some new friends, maybe bring a couple of card games or games and start a little lunchtime game circle.
Wayne.
I'm almost done, I promise. Reporting, I'm Wayne Stafford.
We have an update on the plan for new.
Okay, so they say that the kids are going to adapt, but these kids that are going through school right now, like my child and Panda, we both have seniors this year. And this is their year of memories. This is their year to build their memories. And CJ's taking it with a grain of salt. He don't care. He doesn't even care if he gets a year, but because he says after school's out, he's not going to remember who these people are anyway. When he goes on with his life and builds his life and goes to school to become a teacher, it's not going to matter these people because he doesn't have that close a friendship with any of them. Okay? He don't build close bonding friendships except with family members. Now, if he chooses you to be in his family, then you're chosen to be in his family and you're like a best friend. But on the other hand, Manda Panda, her senior, is really struggling with the fact that this is her last year for school memories.
Yeah, mine are in. See, CJ. Well, that yours doesn't really care to participate in that type of stuff, whereas mine are in just about everything they can get their hands in.
Right.
Mine have been in band the entirety of their school. Mine have been cheerleaders for 90% of their school. And she's no longer a cheerleader, but she's still in band, and now she's doing the college thing. So she's, regardless, she did create that pact with her class and her grade and the other people that she was a part of those different groups with. Now, yeah. the other two, they would be absolutely traumatized. Like, I'm glad that it is the older one that is able to cope with this situation, because we can go find her a camera, but again, like, I don't want it to be like something huge that she has to lug around all day, that she's gonna either wind up breaking because there's so many people and knocking into something, but she's adaptable. I think they're correct. Like, that girl was very correct. Like, they're adaptable, but it's a struggle. And like the news reporter said, like, they just got last year. Last year was when they implemented it. They basically broke. So what it sounds to me like is the teachers were like, okay, well, we can't control this. We're going to give them X amount of time per day to be on their phone, and then now you're going to take it away.
Right. Like they were introducing it slowly or something.
Well, last year, like, Kaylin had free hour. I don't know what they call it.
Here they call it ACE. It's a learning hour, so you can catch up on homework or whatever.
Basically, yes, they call it homeroom, home ec hour. And they sit there and they can catch up on their other classes, or if they want to take another elective or do volunteer, like within the library, they have that full hour to do what they want to do. And that's where a lot of them were connecting. And I think it created a bigger connection. Truly, I seen within the girls, because now they're able to get each other Snapchats information, and they were able to get each other's Roblox information, and then they'd come home and they'd play together. And I don't think they're going to get to do that type of interaction this year. I don't know. I mean, I totally agree with the no cell phones during class. Don't get me wrong. But I think that there should be like leadway for the seniors to take their time to get their memories in, and that their last year and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So then on 9 News, I don't know where it's from. I think it's Oklahoma. As students head back to class, Oklahoma new cell phone law is prompting districts to roll out updated device policies. Here's a breakdown of what parents need to know. Cell phones are being silenced across Oklahoma classrooms this school year as Senate Bill 139 takes effect, requiring districts to adopt bell-to-bell bans on student phone use. From Tulsa to Oklahoma City to smaller communities like El Reno, new policies are rolling out in response to growing concerns about distraction, cyberbullying, and academic performance. Senator Sally Seafried, Republican from Claremore, who was worked on the issue for years, said the law is designed to give students the gift of undistracted learning. The law allows for exceptions, including medical needs and emergencies, but requires phones to be turned off and away during instructional time. Districts have responded with a variety of approaches. Some are expanding existing rules, while others are implementing comprehensive bans for the first time. Oklahoma's own In Focus, What's Behind the Push for Cell Phone Free Classrooms? What does the statewide cell phone law say? They put the law in May 2025. It is a year-long ban that requires every public school district in the state to create and enforce policies that prevent students from using personal electronic devices during school hours. This includes cell phones, tablets, smartwatches, and wireless headphones. Now, see, CJ School already cannot use Bluetooth headsets. They have to have wired headsets. The law permits exceptions in cases of emergencies, documented medical needs. Districts may continue to use school-issued devices for educational purposes. Oklahoma joined 11 of other states that have already implemented several restrictions. What other states have cell phone restrictions? Arizona, Arkansas, California, Florida, Indiana, Louisiana, Minnesota, New York, Ohio, South Carolina, Virginia, and Kansas. Well, at least here in Nowhereville, Kansas, they have that. So, how are the schools enforcing the ban? OKCPS implements district-wide ban on student cell phone use during school hours. Several large districts, including Oklahoma City Public Schools and Tulsa Public Schools, have issued formal guidelines aligned with the new law. Oklahoma City Public Schools banned the use of phones, smartwatches, tablets in the school day. Though students may still use them while on buses or at extracurricular events. Violations are subject to disciplinary action, and exceptions are allowed for medical devices and documented accommodations under an IEP or 504 plan. Tulsa School District requires elementary and middle school students to keep devices off and stored from arrival to dismissal. High schoolers must keep devices away during instructional time. So that means they can have them, but not in class. Deer Creek, El Reno, and Owasso adopted bell-to-bell bans with similar exceptions for emergencies and health conditions. Owasso supplemented. Margaret Cates said, the policy aims to support student engagement and potentially increase learning outcomes. At Roosevelt Middle School in OKC, the policy already in place before the law's passage had shown early success. Teachers reported fewer distractions and better classroom engagements. What are lawmakers pushing for the ban? It cites concerns about students' focus, teachers' burnout, and classroom discipline. Senator Seafree said the rise of phones in classroom contributions to bullying and failing test scores. Lawmakers like Senator Dave Rader have described the policy as one that could change the trajectory of education in Oklahoma. You know what will change the trajectory of education in Oklahoma? Get rid of them dadgum Chromebooks and make the kids open a book, read a chapter, write an essay, do whatever those sheets are where you break it down like a timeline sheet type thing. I had to do one when I was in high school, but I don't remember what it's called. And teach them how to write. Teach them how to read and teach them how to write. They're not doing that anymore.
No.
They're not doing that.
Yeah, they don't know how to read or write cursive. Mine do. That's when I figured out that they were not learning that, it was like, wait, what? No. You need to know how to you need to know how to read an analog clock, like regardless.
Right. While many parents have expressed support, others worry student safety in emergencies. Lawmakers address those concerns by including specific exceptions in the legislation. It starts this right here school year. The school year that starts in just a few days, actually. Which districts already have cell phone bans in place? Union Public Schools, Warner Public Schools, Bixby, Jenks, and Tulsa. Reno Public Schools. Okay. I don't think your girl's school has it in place, but they're probably going to say something in open assembly about it. Norman School, Edmond.
They've already been told. That's why she asked me about a camera. Like, she came to me about a camera because she's worried she's not going to be able to get any memories.
Right.
Like, I think that they went as far as they are not actually allowed to have them on campus.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, do your girls have IEPs?
I don't know what that is.
Smoke and Molly Cully, I don't agree with what you're saying, but you are welcome to your opinion. I can't say that what I learned about history when I was in school is fake. I can't say that because if it wasn't in history, which means the past, I wouldn't be able to learn it. I mean, you have to know where you came from. And the only way to learn where you came from is school. So,
How am I not seeing this person's comments?
are you on top comments or all comments?
I'm pretty sure I'm.
She says, what good? See, I can't tell if it's a she or a he. It looks like a she with a glued on beard, but it also looks like a he with lipstick. So, or makeup. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Now, but I don't see their comment.
Okay, so what in school anyway? They teach fake history and lies from day one. And then she just says, if they told the truth, they tell how the white man took away the land from the Indians and that Christ was not the first man to land here. That's what I learned in school. I learned that we took the land away from the Indians. That's why they're called Native Americans. They were native to here before we were here. And I was also taught that Christ was not the first man in America. Christopher Columbus was. Okay? Christ
He wasn't.
Was it Christopher Columbus? Who was it?
Well, that's what you were taught.
That's what I was taught. But okay, then later they said it was really somebody else that had
Correct.
and accidentally got. He actually got in the more towards the Canada port, closer. Okay, and then Reality Wins says, I feel 18 and understand should not be on social media like TikTok, YouTube, and Snapchat. Not even Discord. Games are fine, but monitor their usage. Too dangerous, in my opinion, for them, in her opinion. Right. So, are you saying children under 18 should not have TikTok or anything like that, or YouTube or social media or Discord? Okay.
I mean, I definitely agree. I feel like that is too young. But given the day that we live in, and the bullying that happens, and the mental breakdown that the parents receive, especially when you not only have one or two, but three teenage girls or whatever you have coming at you, expressing the reasons that they feel like they should be, and you kind of get broke down at a point. But yes, a 100% monitor. If you are allowing your children on any of these sites, you better have those parental controls on. You better have access to their media. You better have access to their passwords. You better have screen times set up. Screen time is so important. You have the ability to turn an app off after X amount of time and do that. Like, kids need to get out and touch grass. I definitely agree with that. And yes, there are way too many sickos out there, Reality. There are.
And then she said, children get addicted too quickly, in her opinion. And I agree with that. My son that's graduating this year, my dad became a widower when he was 2 years old. The only thing my dad knew to do was play Wii with him to keep him occupied. So at 2 years old, my son was learning to play Wii, and he has been addicted to computer ever since. Addicted to games ever since he was 2 years old. And it's only because my dad didn't know how to do it alone. And a lot of parents do push electronics off as babysitters. because they know a child can sit on the couch for 16 hours and push that phone as long as it's charged into an adapter. And they don't have to worry about that child because that child's going to be sitting there when they come back from the grocery store.
That is true. That is true. And that is where you do have to do your diligence as a parent as well.
We tried to break CJ of electronics after my dad passed away, and then we got custody of him.
Oh,
But
this day and age that we're in, the only thing that is going to break these kids from the electronics is going to be when the power goes out. And that supposedly is going to be happening here pretty soon anyways, because the amount of power that we're draining from our power grid to do the H. Davis, to do the Bitcoin mining that they're doing.
yeah,
Those, oh my goodness, before I moved out of Corsicana, they were in the process of building a Bitcoin mine, and that thing was huge. Could just imagine the amount of power it takes, the amount of electricity it takes to run that facility. And then you have the AI. Everybody wants to use AI. Well, guess what? Something has to power the AI. Well, the AI and the Bitcoin is going to cause our power system to fail, and then everybody is going to be touching grass again.
right. Reality says my grandson at 2 took my phone and downloaded every Angry Bird app, and he was behind the door in his bedroom playing the games on my phone. He still, to this day, is addicted to his phone at 16. And then H. Davis says that his cousin is 7 and he has a cell phone. So I think 7 years old is too young. Around 10 or 11, when they get to the age where they're able to go to their friend's house and do play dates or whatever without the parent, like
Well,
CJ go over to his friend's house. We let him have a cell phone to take over there, but he didn't ever use it at home. He just took it when he went over there.
and take what you just said and take that into consideration, because everybody's situation is different, and especially if you have a split home.
Right.
So like if the kids have to go to dad's for the weekend, mom still wants to be able to have the ability to contact them without having to go through the dad, or vice versa.
Right. I agree with that too. And then reality says my 11-year-old grandson is addicted to Minecraft and Roblox. A lot of kids that age are.
Yeah, my 12-year-old daughter is she loves grow a garden, and she's I would say addicted. She's addicted to grow a garden. That's after they were addicted to Dress to Impress. So yeah, I definitely understand the reasoning and everything behind it, and I wish that they were a little bit more lenient, that the seniors could at least take pictures. I wonder if that during, you know how it said, what you read said that there were certain stipulations that could be applied. I wonder if that may be one of them.
I'm hoping. And H. Davis said kids these days are on TikTok. Yeah, they are. And reality says my daughter is dealing with it at the moment. Split household. Yeah.
Yeah. It makes it just a little bit easier. So I understand the why, but I don't understand the thought process of, I'm just going to hand my child this device and everything's going to be okay. Let's go on about our business. La-di-da-di-da. Nothing bad is going to happen.
I have a niece that's known how to use a tablet, and she runs it. She has 2 tablets, so that when one is on the charger, she can be using the other one 24 or anytime she's not in school. And she's been doing that since she was like 3 years old. She sleeps with her tablet. So, but okay. So on the, what?
I was gonna say, and again with that situation, everybody's situation is different because wasn't she nonverbal for a little while and
She was nonverbal.
didn't she use that as like
She was nonverbal, but she's verbal now, and very verbal. Okay, so can my kid bring a phone to school in Oklahoma? As students head back to class, Oklahoma's new cell phone is prompting districts to roll out updated policies. Now, is there going to be a video on this, or do I have to read it? Because I think I've read all of this already. Yeah, we've read all this already. And Reality says, at the moment, I'm watching the Michael Crow story. Oh, it's interesting about a 14 brother being blamed for his sis red rum. She was 12. Years later, they got sued as he was innocent. Wow, that does sound interesting. That does sound interesting.
definitely gonna have to look that one up. Thank you for that, Reality.
Okay. Law profits, okay.
And oh my goodness, I envy you. I should have taken your your jump start and put that into effect in my situation, like because now I'm having to buy the class ring, the Letterman jacket, all of it this year.
We bought CJ's class ring and his ex-girlfriend's class ring. His ex-girlfriend's never worn hers. She took it home, put it in the jewelry box, and that's where it sits.
Those jackets are expensive.
I don't know about that.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Crow.
And each patch is more, and the patches are like $250 to start out with.
And they have to be sewn on, and it's hard to sew through that plastic stuff that they.
Oh well, this site that we're ordering from, you build your jacket and then they place all of they do all that for you.
Oh, like building your class ring. When you get it, it's fully done.
Yep.
Okay. Those are probably $250, $300 jackets then.
To start, and that's not with the patches, and now each extra patch is more. So yeah, they're pretty penny. So I think I'm gonna start ordering everybody's and just do a payment plan until everybody's out of school.
Or start saving the money up. Yeah, because you still got 3 to graduate.
Yep.
Mine won't get a letter jacket though.
I am just gonna measure them and tell them you're not allowed to grow, and this is it.
I don't think that's going to work very well.
Well, I can't not get them a Letterman jacket. They all lettered, so it's like,
I think Eldon got his letters but didn't get the jacket. My older brother got his letters but didn't get the jacket because he was going to put them on his own jacket. Because back then, that was when those kind of satiny looking Top Gun type jackets was in the.
you can do either or. You can order those now too.
Cool.
Yeah, but I think she's gonna want the regular
Bulky, heavy one.
Yeah,
That weighs 20 pounds.
Yes.
That when she's 90 years old is going to end up in a museum somewhere this is what happened at this school. This is because I've seen in museums, like when we went to Ellenwood. Reality says so cool, Amanda. When we went to Ellenwood, they had a museum there for Ellenwood, Kansas, and there were actually school letterman jackets in there.
I think it's cool that they can design their own. Like if they want their letters on their sleeve, they can put their letters on their sleeve, or if they want it under their front pocket, they can put it under their front pocket. It's not a mandatory. Everybody has to do it a certain way.
That's good. That's good. I didn't ever do anything in school to get a letterman's jacket. I tried to be on the high school team, but I tried to get on basketball and I got bullied out. And I tried to get on the high school swim team. I made it on the swim team, but I got bullied out. So I didn't do anything like that. My older brother got his letter for baseball. And my younger brother, I don't think he got a letter. I don't know if he did. I know he did ROTC, JROTC. But I think that was one of the requirements my mom and dad set forward to the students, the kids that were still in school as foster kids and adopted kids that were staying in their house. Dad's military background, he wanted all the kids to do JROTC because it helped teach them discipline. But they don't have JROTC here.
I've got letters.
Modeling group, is that like clay or like fashion? You did what?
The girls, they have letters. I have to get letters for cross country. I have to get letters for band for all three of them. I have to get a letter for choir and then a letter for cheer for the other two.
Can't you get the letter and the pins to go on it? That's what they did in our high school. You got the letter and then you got gold pins that were put on the letter for every activity you did.
Their letter their letter, depending on what, I don't know what Kelsey or Trinity are going to letter in. I don't know if they're going to letter in cross country or if they're going to letter in cheer. Now, if they letter in cheer, then it comes with their letter, which will be the H, and it'll have a big the microphone thing.
Megaphone.
Yeah, and then if Trinity letters in cross country, then she will have the cross country symbol at the bottom of her H.
Right. H. Davis said that he never had a letterman jacket, but he was in both, and he was also in JROTC.
Exactly the same, H. Davis. I didn't have the jacket or anything, and I actually ended up just getting my GED, but because I didn't have it, I definitely want my kids to be able to have the ability to get those things if that's something that they want. So yeah, it's an experience that I have not even got to experience myself. So I'm experiencing it with them. It's pretty fun. It's exciting. My pockets don't like it, but it's exciting.
I could understand that. Well, I better get off here. I still got some stuff I've got to do to get ready for tomorrow's yard sale. Now, like I said at the beginning, I won't be back until Monday because there's no way I can do a yard sale because I don't know how to do StreamYard very well on my phone, and I wouldn't be able to read chat or anything like that. So I'm not going to go into that. And my tablet or my laptop don't have Wi-Fi over where my yard sale's going to be. Because it's not going to be at my house. People won't come to it on these hills. So I'm having it over at my storage locker. And I was over there this morning processing stuff, and I got to go back over there early tomorrow morning because I've got to get the tables set out and stuff put on tables out there. And I'm doing a color code pricing. I got this roll of 5 different colors of little bitty tapes, and I've made a sign that says this, all pink ones 50 cents, red ones are $1, like that. So I'm color coding so I don't have to write.
Good idea.
I don't have to write everything out. H. Davis said it's funny. You've been out of school for 20 years. Oh my gosh. I thought you were only about 25 or 30.
Oh my goodness, H. Davis, you just made me come into realization because my oldest was born the year I graduated, and how long ago was that? 20 years. Oh my gosh, I have not been in school for 20 years.
I got out of school 50 years ago. No, 40 years ago. I got out of school 85.
2005.
I got out in 85. We're having our 40-year class reunion this year.
I feel old. I feel old. Oh my goodness.
Thank you, H. Davis. I got that saying. I don't remember where I got the saying. But I like it. I like it too. And reality says, be the change you want to see. What are you doing, Amanda?
I didn't do it on purpose. It's just my. I fixed it, I think.
Do you need to go check yourself? Did you wreck yourself?
Is that what it sounded like, really?
That's what it sounded like.
It sounded like a robot on my end. I clicked off a StreamYard and then it made it go all wonky. No. And now
I believe you.
I'm going to have to rewatch.
You're not old, H. Davis. You guys are just young people. You're just starting out. I'm old. I'm going to be 60 my next birthday. No. Am I 58 or 59? No. I think I'm 58. I might be 59. I don't know. It's been a long time since I was born. Born in 66. My birthday's in December. That's all I know. So, okay. So do something nice for someone, even if it's just be the reason they smile today, and get Locker. Thank you all for being here. Please hit that thumbs up.